I'm not gay no more. I am delivered. I don't like men no more. I said I like women. Women. I said women. I'm not gay. I would not date a man. I would not carry a purse. I would not put on makeup. I will love a woman.
Welcome to another episode of J Inclusive. Please share, like, comment, subscribe, and set your notifications on so you are alerted every time I upload.
But it's not normal. You have a new family tree. Jesus is the vine, and we are the branches. There may be homosexuals and lesbianism in your family line, but it's not normal.
Back in 2022, another church scandal broke when Pastor Dawkins of the Praise International Church in Florida went viral after an OnlyFans creator, FatKat, allegedly leaked a series of videos of them online.
So y'all, recently this Pastor Dawkins, was allegedly caught sleeping, recorded sleeping with a gay OnlyFans creator, like the whole thing. So the OnlyFans creator deleted it off Twitter, but it's still on his OnlyFans. And this is what the creator had to say about the whole thing. So somebody asked the OnlyFans creator, like, hey, why'd you take it down? If you agreed to do it, then that's on him. And this is what the person had to say. They said, because I'm not an asshole, this man's whole life is falling apart right now. He done lost his job, his wife, and kids. At least I delete the video. It's still on my OnlyFans though. So during this whole Twitter thread, I was trying to find out if the pastor told him hey, yeah, you can go ahead and post the video. I think I did find 2 tweets on Twitter that the creator made saying he said that I can record him. And I'm I didn't find any tweets. Maybe I was looking wrong, but I didn't find any tweets of him saying he said that I can post the video. I didn't find any tweets like that. So I have 2 things to say. Number one, I don't no hate to the creator, no hate to him, make your money, do you, period. But I feel when it comes to the gay community, a lot of gay men DL men have such a grasp on them, and a lot of gay men have a fetish of turning straight men gay, but it's all you're not turning a straight man gay if you already was thinking about sleeping with you, or just in general, that's not a flex. And a lot of gay men see it as a flex to sleep with a DL man, but it's maybe you're sleeping with a bisexual man who's just hiding his sexuality. But also I feel this. The fact that you're willing to sleep with anybody who is DL, and this man is a pastor, just using him as reference, this pastor has probably said some homophobic and disrespectful things about the gay community, and the fact that you're willing to sleep with him and use it as a flex is just something not, to me, in my opinion, it's not a flex. It's just not, it doesn't make sense. Under the main tweet of the creator saying he didn't want to be an asshole, so he took down on Twitter, someone said this. They said, oh, so you kind enough on Twitter, but then you see my OnlyFans and pay me for details. Why I feel this is an excessive way to get people to buy some video and a story you may have fabricated all on your own. I ain't disrespecting your hustle though, unless you lying. So I want to say I really did like this tweet because the way they put it and the way they worded it, there's something shady about this, and I kind of do agree. No hate to the creator, but there is something shady about this. I'm to me, it's just you feel sympathy for him, but both of y'all knew that you were gonna post a video, so it's all I don't know. It's just something's not really sitting right, but that's just in my opinion. No hate to the creator, make him make your hustle, do your point, period. But it's all unless you're lying, it's just something's going on there, But no hate to him. Keep doing you.
The video shocked some, but not others, because as we've seen before,
Jamal Paris says he's now haunted by a father figure, Bishop Eddie Long, pastor of New Birth Missionary Baptist, one of America's most powerful megachurches.
I cannot get the sound of his voice out of my head, and I cannot forget the smell of his cologne, and I cannot forget the way that he made me cry many nights when I drove in his cars on the way home, not able to take enough showers to wipe the smell of him off of my body.
As teens, Paris and 3 other young men claim Long adopted them as his spiritual sons, then exploited them. Their civil suits allege Long used scripture, cars, jewelry, and trips on his private plane in a sexual seduction.
That's not a father. That's a predator.
Long built this megachurch into 25,000 members. 4 U.S. presidents attended Coretta Scott King's funeral here. He flaunts his wealth and his physique. His so-called muscular Christianity preaches homosexuality is sinful. Now these allegations.
I have never in my life portrayed myself as a perfect man, but I am not the man that's being portrayed on the television.
But here's what makes many church members here wonder. Long has never taken his public denials one step further, never said flatly these allegations are false. All 4 teens met Georgia's legal age of consent. but that's hardly the moral standard for any pastor.
You are not a man, you are a monster.
Allegations that leave Long's congregation trying to decide whether their pastor is a predator.
As the video began gaining traction, members of his church denied that the man in the video was Pastor Dawkins, claiming that it was fake. Church members who had seen the video stated they were familiar with the pastor's face and that it simply was not him in the lengthy clip. One church member stated that the devil was trying to destroy their pastor in the church, while another said that it was lies on the internet. According to Larry Reed Live, Dawkins had also denied that the man in the video was him, and he was even threatening to sue anyone claiming otherwise. Well, months later, Dawkins would be singing a new song, one that differed from his co-stars.
I had connected with an individual of the same gender, and I've had throughout my childhood, up until even this moment, dealing with bisexual tendencies, anointed, called of God, and all of that, but did not have an opportunity to really dig into those issues and unpack them. No excuse to it, just what it is. I connected with an individual. It's what they call a sneaky link.
All right.
Yeah. And in that moment, he recorded it. I was aware of the recording. Prior to, it was asked if he could record, and I thought it would be for his personal pleasure, so to speak. Again, I preface this all by saying it was not right, it was wrong, but that's where I was in that moment. I had to acknowledge where I was. Later on that same day, he posted it. He's a content creator. So this is someone who does this as their main, or one of their sources of income or whatnot.
I got a DM from the man, and he was asking to link up. I gave him the same response that I give everyone that DMs me asking to link up, which was, you can pay for my services, or you can allow me to film it for my OnlyFans. So those of you that believe that he knew the video was being filmed, but he did not know that the video was being posted, you sound crazy. Use your common sense. Why else would a content creator be asking to record content? At this time of us DMing, I do not know anything about him. I did not know he was a pastor. I did not know he had a wife and kids. I didn't even know his name. I didn't know anything about him. Now, fast forward to the link up. We linked up twice. The first time we linked up was just to chill, hang, and get to know each other, which is what I always do to people that I'm filming with for the first time. You know what I'm saying? I like to get to know you. I like to get to know the person and build a genuine bond and friendship before just jumping straight into, you know. So the very first time we linked was just purely, you know, conversation, chilling, hanging, you know, asking each other questions, just vibing off each other, just, you know, trying to see. And that is when I found out that he had a wife and a kid. But he didn't seem to care, so why the hell should I, you know? Once the cameras was done, set up, we filmed, video was over with, he left. A couple of hours later, I posted the video, and then he called me, and he was like, I thought you was going to post the video on OnlyFans and not Twitter. And so I explained to him that Twitter is an extension of my OnlyFans. You know what I'm saying? I post on Twitter to promote my OnlyFans or whatever. My bad. Fast forward to the end of the conversation, he asked me to delete the video. I told him that I'm not deleting the video because you've already agreed to the video being filmed and posted, you know? But I ended up deleting the video anyways that same day because the video was not doing well. It was not getting a lot of traction on Twitter. Also, I would also like to debunk. I remember in his video, he said that he contacted me and asked me to delete the video and I blocked him. That's a lie. We actually stayed in contact with each other for a whole week after the video was filmed. Yes, we did. We stayed in contact with each other for a whole week after the video was filmed. And during that week that we were in contact with each other, we were just updating each other on the situation. You know, he was letting me know, like, everything is good. His wife and kids still haven't found out anything yet. Nobody has said anything to him or anything. And on my end, the video has been deleted or whatever. So at this point, it's nothing really to worry about. You know what I'm saying? Then he proceeds to tell me that this is not pastor's first time. This is not his first time being in a situation like this. And I was really inclined to believe that because I felt like the way that the pastor was moving was very sloppy, you know?
I called him immediately when I was made aware of it and said, why did you do that? You know, please take it down. I didn't give consent for that, etc. He hung up on me. I called back, and he had blocked me. That was the last I'd ever heard from him. That evening, you can imagine, I did not sleep. I have a wife and 3 beautiful sons. I pastor a church in South Florida for 14 years at that point. And family, loved ones, all of that. So the weight of that shame sat on me. For the first time ever in my life, I pulled out my life insurance policy. And while church folk laughed at it, while friends distanced from me, I contemplating getting rid of myself. This is the first time I'm saying much of this openly at all, so bear with me if I'm a little shaky about it.
This is good. Thank you. This is powerful.
At the end of that night, I wrestled and I said, well, I thought of my sons. And I said, well, do they live with the shame of having a father who's infidelity of that nature? Because, there's usually grace for heterosexual falls. But when it comes to the same gender, homosexual, what does the scripture say? You can fall 7 times, get up. But most folks have their preferences to how you're allowed to fall.
Yeah. This is good.
And I fell in a way that most folks don't think you can come back from.
As a DL man with a job like that and a wife and kid, why would you even allow somebody to record you, even if you thought the video wasn't being posted? Why would you even play with yourself like that and allow it to be filmed, period? You know what I'm saying? Because if I was a DL man in that situation, I wouldn't have let nobody film me. I don't give a fuck if the person told me that they were never going to post it ever. Still, no filming. I don't care. Fast forward 2 weeks from the time that the video was deleted. Well, recorded and deleted, because it was filmed, it was recorded and posted and deleted all in the same day. So yeah, we're 2 weeks from the time that the video was filmed, posted, and deleted. I ended up posting the video again, but this time I cropped his face off the video and I titled it "Pastor with Wife and Kids," hoping that would bring the audience in, because people love taboo XXX videos, So I was thinking, like, by captioning it, that it would bring the people in, because remember I told y'all the first time I posted the video it didn't do well. It still didn't do well this go round. It still didn't do well this go round. So I ended up deleting the video again, same day. Ended up deleting the video again, the same day I posted it. Fast forward 3 weeks from the time that the video was filmed, posted, and deleted. This is when all hell broke loose. So I'm waking up out my sleep and my phone is blowing up. I got all kind of messages from Twitter, Facebook, OnlyFans, messages from my friends and shit, and so I'm reading all the messages, the notifications and shit, and then, seeing what they all talking about, and I'm just like, yikes. I'm just as shocked as everybody else is. Like, what the fuck happened? You know what I'm saying? Like, what that happened from that point to this point? Because, because remember I told y'all, up until now, the video wasn't getting no traction at all. Literally, the video wasn't getting no traction, like nothing. So I was very confused on how the video miraculously blew up all of a sudden,
Which, by the way, my theology has not changed. I still believe in what I believe in, which is the fundamental conservative interpretation of the Bible. But I do believe that the approach to my situation and situations like it needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
Because it's more of it than we think.
Yeah.
That night, I decided I'm going to have to live for my sons, for nobody else.
Wow.
A dead dad or bisexual struggling dad.
Yeah.
Which one? I decided to live.
Wow.
At least for that day.
Thank you. Come on, give God praise for that, church.
And now I'm still in the process of healing. I have gone through maybe 2-3 therapists. My spiritual leadership has been involved, and very few of the people I pastored have actually, been in touch with me. But I understand that. We'll get into that, I guess, later. I understand the different responses from different people. But now I live here in Atlanta, and I am teaching back in the classroom, which was my original profession, and doing some other things in terms of side hustles, as they would say, trying to make up the difference from going from full-time ministry of a growing church to now being the poster boy for what goes wrong when you think you're secure and you're not.
The man who DM'd me saying that he goes to the church that pastor preaches at, he is the one who exposed him. He went to he subscribed to my OnlyFans account and he screen recorded the video, and I'm assuming he showed the video to the rest of the people in the congregation or the people at the church or whatever the hell he decided to do with the video. But whatever he decided to do with the video is what caused all the controversy.
I'm certain all that ass is what piqued his interest, but Dawkins might have also been seeking attention, as some people are aroused by the idea of others watching them have sex, whether through recordings or live performances at venues like sex shops. He reportedly allowed FatKat to record them for personal use. Yet with so much at stake, why not record in POV style? I've seen the video. Dawkins' face is unmistakably visible, staring directly into the camera, clearly playing it up. Initially, it seemed like a secret encounter, but he allowed someone he knew was an OnlyFans model to record him, fully exposed for their personal collection. According to FatKat, Dawkins didn't object to the video being paywalled on OnlyFans. His issue was its promotion on X, formerly Twitter. This logic doesn't hold up because, either way, people would recognize him. Dawkins and Eddie Long exemplify men who wrestled with their attraction to other men while publicly denouncing homosexuality. Their behavior mirrored that of homophobic closeted men who condemn gay men and trans women while engaging with them in secret. I wonder if these men had been able to live openly and still feel accepted within the Black church, maybe their wives, children, and in Eddie Long's case, his victims. Young men he exploited through a clear power imbalance, despite their being of legal age, been spared. Dawkins is still involved in ministry, and according to one of his recent social media posts, he is single. According to his social media, he still has a wonderful relationship with his children, as well as their mother. I truly hope that his new life is more fulfilling and authentic than the one he used to live.
My little TED Talk this morning. I then said to the person, I'm actually driven more by my desire to speak to you, to connect with you, to communicate with you, than I am driven by my fear of your rejection or misunderstanding of me. That's a word for somebody. There's so many people, I used to be the same way, that are driven by the fear of rejection. We miss opportunities because we're afraid. What if they don't accept? What if they don't like? What if they don't reciprocate it? How about you flip that? What if they do? Have you forgotten that you are also the catch? You're not just the chaser, but there are people who actually desire to hire you, desire to connect with you, desire to work with you, desire to partner with you. But you have to get over that fear of rejection and take that leap of faith and see what happens. If it doesn't work, next. If it does work, let's go. Like, you got to have that relentless, bold, courageous attitude. What are people going to do to you? Stop being a prisoner to people.
Coming from a well-known church family with pastors, evangelists, and deacons, I attended church 4 times a week as a child. When I got older and discovered platforms like Adam for Adam and BGC, this was in the early 2000s before dating apps existed, I was shocked. Men who condemned homosexuality from the pulpit on Sunday would spend the rest of the week messaging me and others. These weren't random men. They were well-known figures from nearby churches, even those appearing on TV. The hypocrisy was eye-opening. Recently, videos of ex-homosexuals condemning homosexuality have started trending on social media, alongside others who embrace their sexual orientation and affirm their LGBT identity.
Yeah, I was. But guess what? My God is a deliverer. And he delivered me. You know, when you're doing the whole social media thing, people will cast their opinions on you. They will speculate. They will make up stories about you. They may even say some stuff that's true about you. And especially with me being married to my wife and some of the videos that we've posted, you know, a lot of the comments have been so wonderful and so positive and so encouraging. But there have also been comments speculating on my sexuality and things of that nature. It's totally fine. Yeah, I was gay. I was actively living the homosexual lifestyle. I was. But I encountered a God that loves me beyond that. And he loved me so much that he didn't condemn me for the feelings that I had. He didn't condemn me for the actions that I took. He did not condemn me for the life that I was living, but he called me with his love. This community, a lot of them will say, yeah, you just gay. You just gay. You can't change your sexuality. You're right, I can't change my sexuality. I serve a God that loves me enough not to leave me in a place that does not suit his will for my life. And he loves me that much that he would pull me out of something that I was so deep in. I didn't see a way out of it, but he did. He's the way, the truth, and the life. I thank God for Jesus. I thank God for delivering.
Watch this video and I'll be right back.
The reason I'm venting, the reason why I was crying today is because we're not supposed to be gay, right? And I guess I'm supposed to be getting out of this lifestyle, right? Or whatever the case may be, and being delivered.
Yo, I hate that you're in that place. I've heard this story too many times and it breaks my heart every time I hear it. In my effort to encourage you, I'm gonna challenge you a little bit. At the foundation of the thoughts you shared is the belief that you need to be delivered from your sexuality. What if I told you you don't need to be delivered from your sexuality? What if I encourage you to get delivered from the harmful theology that convinces you that your sexuality is inherently evil? The only thing wrong with you is that you think something is wrong with you. You don't need to be delivered from who you are. You'll never truly be at peace practicing a theology that causes you to hate who you are. If you're feeling convicted about something that ain't harming nobody, that's not God. That's the anxiety that your church's theology instilled in you. And I, just like you, love the tradition of my church. But you can hold on to some of your traditions while rethinking your theology. You don't need to be delivered from who you are. You need to love who you
are. So here in the city of Atlanta, we got gay pastors. The audacity. Ain't no such thing as a gay pastor. Ain't no such thing as a gay Christian. Before I gave my life to Christ, I used to be gay. But when I became a Christian, I died to that lifestyle. You cannot openly claim something demonic and divine at the same time. The same way goes for all sin. Now, you can be a Christian struggling with homosexuality, meaning that you know it's demonic, but you're fighting alongside the Holy Spirit to overcome. But like I said, to openly claim Christ in something that is of the devil is not of God. Scripture says in 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 19, let everyone that names the name of Jesus depart from sin. That's Bible.
I did gay porn for a living.
But as a gay man and a Christian pastor, I just want to say that this story, this testimony, it's not normative. Your story about being a porn star, about worshiping Satan, about having sex for money, about doing drugs, that is not the average LGBT person's experience, and that's not the experience of those of us who are LGBT Christians, who are seeking to follow after Jesus, while also embracing our God-given sexual or gender identity. So I hope you know, LGBT person who might be seeing this video, that this is not what you should expect, that God does not condemn you because of how God made you, that you are perfect just as you are, and that your sexuality and gender identity actually reflects God's own creativeness and God's glory. May you know that deep in your bones.
Hello everyone, this is Zelig. I wanted to hop on here and just let you guys know a testimony on my side. I've been delivered from homosexuality. I'm thankful to be where I'm at right now. My journey hasn't always been easy. I share because I believe what my word says. I believe what the Bible says, and it's taken me time to figure out. It's taken me time to figure out who I am, and I've been through some really tough things, and I've shared some of these things I've shared it on my podcast, and I've opened up about some of my struggles, but I haven't been, as clear with that. I'm sharing because I know there might be some other brother out there that might be struggling. I understand not knowing. I understand not knowing who you are when you look in the mirror. I get that. And a big part of that was me being molested when I was younger. I was touched when I was a kid, and that formed the identity of who Zelig was. And it became something that really put a shield over myself. I became a people pleaser. I became I wasn't myself. I was moving outside of who the Bible told me I should be. And it took me some time. And obviously I love people. Like, that is, I love y'all, and the only reason I'm doing this is because if God can do it for me, I know he can help whoever else may need some help. I've struggled with this for so long, and I feel free. I feel like I can be myself again. And this isn't a message of hate. This is a message of love and just understanding, because it'll put you through a hole. It will put you, like when I fell into it, I was going on apps. And living a life that wasn't right. Like, going on these apps and giving my body to somebody else who doesn't even know me. That's not cool, and that's a low standard of self-respect. And I'm not gonna do it to myself anymore. Going on these apps and just doing whatever I want. It's not okay. It wasn't okay, and God has forgiven me. I ask for his forgiveness for this, because I came too far, and I believe that God has helped me so much. He's helped me on my journey. And like I said, this isn't a message of hate at all, y'all. But I care enough to speak up for you, because for whoever may need to hear this, because it's real. This is real stuff. And being in New York City can be hard. I get it. It's everywhere. But you can get through it, and I'm a testament of that. God has pulled me away from myself in the areas that weren't healthy. I formed an image off this person I made when I was little. I formed this individual from a moment of being touched by a family member. And whoever may be listening to this, like a brother or a sister, if you are touched by a family member, I am so sorry. That moment changed my life. It changed my life, and not in the best way for me. I hated myself. I truly hated myself. And God was talking to me, and that's why I started my podcast, y'all. That's why I started it. That's why I started my podcast, so I can speak out. But I was still struggling, and I apologize for anyone who listened to me while I was not walking in my words. I'm walking towards what I believe is true, and I believe the word is true, and God has been there for me. Guys, like, everything I've been through, y'all, like, I went through hell. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of not walking in who I believe myself to be. And I'm saying this too for any other brother out there that might be struggling, that might be having a hard time with their sexual desires and understanding that. Be where you are, okay? Be where you are, that's okay. Be right where you are. God is big enough to help you. God is able to walk with you even when you messing up. When I was messing up sometimes, y'all, I was in prayer. Jesus, Lord, help me in this moment. Help me in this moment right now. I know I'm wrong. I know I'm wrong. Help me. And I believe if you just hold on, I know I got a lot of brothers that I work with, and I know I get it, but I gotta let this off my heart to let you guys know that it can be achieved to find yourself in the Word, in your Word. I'm not trying to be out here. I'm not trying to be on this thing giving a whole sermon, okay? But I just wanted to be transparent with you guys in this matter, and be upfront, and also share that with my podcast. Before I go to that, I want to say this. I think it's important to understand the value of words. I think a big part of us not being able to find ourselves is allowing people to speak things over you. Meaning, being called a girl, being called bitch, being called, oh, excuse my language, y'all. Sorry, little kids, if you're watching. Things like that can hold you. That can hold you to a version of yourself that isn't who you are. And that has been something for me that I've struggled with. If you are believing for yourself to be the person you want to be, and other people aren't up there with who you are becoming, speak up. Speak up. It's like a self-worth thing of who you are and who you're becoming. Yeah. I'm covered by God. We're covered by God. Just believe, y'all. And with that, I am going to be dropping my podcast next year. The first episode will be January 1st. And it is to share, and it is to shine light and share love with whoever listens. I think this is an important message for a lot of people, because I feel like we're struggling, but we aren't talking. And I'm tired of going through what I've been through. And I pray that whoever heard this can receive it. If you don't understand, that's okay. Maybe even in that not understanding, ask God to help me understand, right? Even in my moments of not believing, I'm like, God, help my disbelief. Help me so I can hear you clear. Even though, sometimes myself, I'm like, no, I don't. But it's yeah. That's all. I hope you guys can tune into my podcast. I want to give you my real self of who I am, who I believe myself to be, and move forward with that. Whoever listens, I hope you can tune in, and I'm looking forward to it, to share with you guys, and to just, maybe it might be a Bible study. I don't know. It could be dance. There's a lot of things.
But yeah, sending love to all of you and whoever listened and tuned into this live. I thank you, and I pray we all just keep moving towards Christ and what he's done for all of us. Much love.
When it comes to homosexuality, most people think that you can be born homosexual. All right. And then when they say you're born homosexual, they say, this is just how I am. This is just how I feel. But what happens is, remember something, in the natural realm, we have about 30, I think it's about 50 emotions, 54 emotions, something like that. In the realm of the spirit, there's over 200 to 300 emotions. Very vast, very big, the realm of the spirit. But the lack of understanding and wisdom to know which emotion is affecting your vessel and your being now is what most people don't have consciousness of. This is a part of spiritual intelligence. So homosexual people, what happens is, there's a spirit which then causes them to have a preference. And that spirit is demonic. But what it does is, it causes them to like females whilst being a female, because that spirit acts as a male spirit. So as that spirit then acts as a male spirit, that male spirit makes you prefer. What it is most people think that when demons come, you know that you're demon possessed. No, the job of a demon is to make you know that you're not demon possessed.
Exactly.
Because if you know that you're demon possessed, you'll look for help.
Yeah.
And the last thing the demon wants you to do
is look for help.
Look for help. So what happens is, it comes as a male spirit.
Yeah.
And that male spirit then causes you to desire females. Meanwhile, your vessel is what? A female vessel.
Yeah.
So you have a female vessel, but a male spirit. A demon that's acting as a male spirit and giving you tendencies. Then what happens is, it then influences your soul. Now, there's a soulish realm. There's a spirit realm and there's a soulish realm. Then there's the fleshly realm, the material realm, the physical realm, the earthly realm. Now, in the soulish realm, that's where it's for you to make the decision between right and wrong. That's where carnality dwells. And so what they then do is, that spirit then influences the soulish realm. Because if you're going to influence the soulish realm, it then influences your reasoning. So what will happen is, your free will is tampered with. Because your moral code and what you believe to be right and what you believe to be wrong is being derived from another spirit, which is a male spirit.
Yeah.
It's not wrong to want another woman. Have you noticed that they won't change their gender parts with them? They'll just dress like men and want to act like men. That's what happens. It will be a male, and he'll know he's a male. He'll keep his name. I'm still Stephen. But something about Stephen just wants to act like a woman. It's no longer Adam and Eve. It's Adam and Steve. They're just something about him wants to dress like a woman, talk like a woman. All right. Some people were angry that Donald Trump came and said there's only two genders. It's true. There's two genders. There's not more. But then what happens is, this is where Satan caused an identity crisis. He comes in to introduce. Now, this error came from the sons of Belial. That's what happened when you see in the Bible, you read that.
Here's some of my unpopular opinions about Christians and gay people. And I'm going to aim this more so at the black church, because honestly, I really don't know what y'all other people do, because I do know y'all get out early, though. I think y'all get out about like 11. That's the only thing I really know about what y'all got going on. The way that you parents abandon your kids is absolutely insane. You really don't know the definition of loving your child and not the sin, right? Because you're like, well, I can't go over there. I can't support them. You can support them and not support what they're doing. You don't have to agree with what they're doing, but loving your child and not loving the sin is definitely possible. You can support your child, and you don't have to be, nobody's asking you to be in the drag show. All I'm saying is that if they have a spelling bee, why you can't go to the spelling bee? That has nothing to do with gay. It has everything to do with making sure that you know how to spell. It's like, God loves us. We do things that dishonor and displease him constantly, but he always still shows up, supports, blesses us, loves us, forgives us, is always waiting when we're messing up. You guys aren't loving your children, and you're literally pushing them into the streets. That's why the LGBTQ community is actually so close, because it's filled with a bunch of people that have been abandoned by their parents, and so they build a community in each other, and they love on each other, call each other mother, brother, sister, whatever it is, because it's their family. They don't have a family. They've been abandoned. Where in the Bible does it say to stop loving your children? A sin is a sin is a sin, period. You think God puts it in categories? He looks at it all the same. Then you guys are mad hypocritical, because How is it that you don't like gay people, being gay is a sin, is wrong, but yet it's okay for the choir director to tambourine and make sure that altos are hitting their notes? And on top of that, a lot of you judgmental people, especially you church ladies, you judge a lot. But meanwhile, I have a gay male friend, and I've heard the stories about how, your husband was bent over somewhere. But then y'all keep taking up for these men who are sleeping with all kind of women in the church. And you keep taking up for people who are pedophiles. Pedophiles get to sit at the dinner table with you. The uncle that your kids had touched him probably maybe even a source of why they're dealing with homosexuality in the first place. But they can come to dinner and they can sit down and chill and eat. But you abandon your child who tells you that they're gay? Crazy. The Bible is clear about loving one another. The Bible is clear about confessing your sins one to another. So if I don't tell you that I'm struggling with homosexuality, how are you supposed to pray for me? You're condemning me, but not praying for me. How does that make sense? I told my mother at 30 that I was bisexual or had bisexual feelings. And even though I mostly date men and my mother is a pastor, she understood and accepted me. So it's possible.
So probably a little over a month ago, I was fasting and I went through a deliverance. And I got delivered from a spirit wife, had a spirit spouse attached to me, and a homosexual spirit. And now I've never been gay in my life. I've never been attracted to the same sex. I've never done anything with the same sex. So you're probably wondering, how did you have a homosexual spirit then? How did you know? And because God revealed it to me, and during the fast, he said, these are some things that you need to address. So I had to do some renouncing and some denouncing, and breaking covenants that I've made in the past. And like I said, I've never been attracted to any men. I've never done nothing with men. That's just it's never been my thing. It's never been a struggle of mine. But if I had to get this smoke, y'all gonna get this smoke because God had checked me. And I was in denial about it for a long time. I know some of y'all are going to be like, yeah, that's BS, but hear me out. And I'm praying that you don't let your pride get in the way from you getting free. You finding liberty and getting set free from this thing. But God had told me, he was like, yeah, you need to target these things. You got this spirit spouse attached to you. You got this homosexual thing attached to you. I'm like, how I got a homosexual spirit attached to me, God? Because that ain't even my thing. And he said, my man said something a long time ago, back in probably like 2010, maybe 2011 in a Bible study, and we rejected it. And even though God had affirmed it, what my man had said, I still rejected it. But at the Bible study, my man had came out, he was saying, God convicted him about oral checks with his wife. And we like, the marriage bed is undefiled. This what homie saying in a Bible study and everything, but that's not what that means. It means the marriage bed is to be undefiled. But he was saying God had revealed to him that he needed to stop. Like, this is not right. This is ungodly. And he's like, if you're doing it with the opposite sex, it's not gay. And God was like, it's wrong. And so I challenged it. Now, personally, I'm 36 years old at that time. I've never performed oral checks on anybody. To this day, I've never performed oral checks, but I sure did like to receive it, just like many people. And so I was like, I don't know. I can't get with you on that. If it's with the opposite sex, then I don't see how that could be, I don't see how that could be wrong. And God hit me up with it ASAP. Probably like not even a day or 2 days later, I was in my word and he took me to Romans, and I'm going to read it. And prayerfully, this makes sense to y'all. I hope y'all get this revelation too. It's in Romans 1. I'm going to start at 26. It says, for this cause, God gave them up to vile affections. For even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the women, burning their lust one towards another, men with men working that which is unseemly, and receiving themselves the recompense of their error, which was meat. And so God had to show me, said, man, this thing happens in progression. And I was like, what? He said, yeah, read it, happen in progression. They left the natural use of the women. They said, and he was telling me, he said, I made the male organ to go into the female organ. I didn't make the male organ to go into areas that both male and female have. He said, I made it for this specific reason. This organ was not meant to go in the mouth, and it was not meant to go between the cheeks. And I was like, oh, snap. And I'm like, hold up, God, because, it's still opposite sex. He was like, look up what sodomy means. I looked up what sodomy meant, and it means anal and oral copulation. It don't even have to be with the same sex. And I was like, oh, snap, hit me upside the head with it. But like I said, back then I was still young in my walk, and I still wanted to do what I wanted to do. I enjoyed the oral checks, so I kept doing it. And so during this fast, God was like, I need you to address these things. And I was like, well, hold up, God, I ain't homosexual. He's like, well, the act that you was doing, whether it was with the opposite sex or not, the act that you was doing brings on that spirit. So I was like, oh, man. And so during that fast, I had to humble myself. It feels crazy even praying like, God, forgive me for my acts of homosexuality, even when I've never done anything homosexual, like in man's eyes. It's humbling to even say that and to even fast and to come out of my mouth and be like, man, I renounce every act of homosexuality. I renounce and I denounce every act of oral and anal copulation that I've engaged in. Like, that's humbling to just say out your mouth. Even when nobody's around, I'm just like, man, but God is like, this is how you're going to get free from these things. And I end up getting delivered from it. And that thing and that spirit spouse. And I can't tell you how much in the spirit, like, something broke. And I want to go into like great detail about it, right? But I'm going to say this. I understand now when people say, you can't help who you love, right? I never believed that. But now I understand when people say you can't help who you love. I get it now. Because when I got delivered from that spirit spouse, something shifted. Like, it was a whole demon. It was a whole spirit that was influencing what I liked. Like, why did I love getting oral copulation so much? Like, why did I love this person so much? It was a woman, but I was like, why was I so infatuated with being with this person? And then as soon as that thing broke off, like, all of that left. I can't even explain it, but all of it left, and I couldn't do nothing but praise God. And even still, I would look at pictures of this person, and it would amaze me how much, like, I'm just not there anymore in an instant. Like, when it left, when I got delivered from it, in that instant, those desires immediately shift. And so I get it. And so I know some people are going to see this and they're going to say, no, I've been homosexual all my life, or I've been this all my life. I liked women all my life. You don't know, that spirit might have been passed down through generation. You never know. You don't know how it came in. It could have came in through molestation, through SA, whatever. But you don't even realize there is something influencing you deep down inside, and it doesn't feel like it because it feels like it's you that likes this individual or likes this same sex or whatever. But I'm telling you, I realized when I went through that deliverance, because I was in denial. Like, I thought this person is who I'm supposed to be with. This woman is who I'm supposed to be with. But that spirit spouse and that homosexual spirit had me attached to them and had me attached to an idea of them. And I literally thought it was me. Like, this is who I'm supposed to be with. This is who I love. And when God was like, I need you to address these things. And when I got delivered from those things, I can't even explain how everything just shifted. And nothing changed about that person. That person is still a great person, it's still who they are. But because of my past, like, I got tied to her through trauma bond. That spirit, when that spirit got attached to me from my ex a long time ago, where I went through a battle with Jezebel and everything, and those spirits came with it. When I was getting over my ex, I had a trauma bond with this young lady, and that spirit spouse made me just grow so much of an affection for her. Like, and I couldn't understand why, and until I got delivered from this thing. And God was telling me during that fast, He said, address these two things and watch what I do. And I had to humble myself and address those things. So I'm telling you, if you find yourself loving anal checks and oral checks, I'm telling you, there's a homosexual spirit behind it. You need to fast. You need to pray. You need to seek deliverance from that thing. And watch how God work. That's all I'm going to say. Just watch how God work.
Woo, that'll do it. You don't have to worry about me. You do not have to worry about me.
That church was quiet as a church mouse. Now drop a comment down below and let the congregation know what you think. And while you're at it, pass around that collection plate and hand it back to me. Until next time, thank you for watching.